The views and opinions of the hosts and guests of this program are of their own and not a reflection of Milwaukee Black Media or 1017 The Truth. Good afternoon, Milwaukee. You're tuned in to The Lunch Break on 1017 The Truth, where everything is an option on the menu.
And one thing about me, I'm a tough cookie, but I know what I can't do, and I'm not suffering. All right, I fought my whole life. I'm all right.
Excuse me, Cletus. Hoppo, who this man?
Yeah, I wasn't doing it. So I was like, I'm not paying $1,000 to sleep on somebody's couch.
Grab your lunch, hit send on that email, and get ready for the best hour of your day.
My way of thinking is that the parents do all they can, but once the kids leave out that door, whatever have you, they make their own decisions. I don't care if you're 9 or 99, it's still your decision about the situations that you get involved yourself in.
We talking about taxpaying citizens who look into their taxes. Look into this. We talking about elected officials doing backdoor deals, and somehow she still want to blame immigrants. That's what we talking about right now. We following the money, and you still want to blame black people and immigrants and welfare and all of these things for policies and backdoor deals that put poor people in worse position.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
Like you said, they want to pad their pockets, but they need a reason to push things through. And I guess the low-hanging fruit is, okay, well, this is a problem, right? Y'all want to fix the problem, and they just hope nobody looks into it like, wait, when did food trucks become an issue?
Here are your hosts, Nitty and maybe Shannon.
What up, y'all? Good afternoon. You are now punched in on your lunch break with your boy Nitty and maybe Shannon, live from the American Family Insurance Studios located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee in the 3rd Street Market Hall. You're now tuned in to The Truth 101.7 FM. Maybe Shannon, how you feeling? Talk to me.
You know she got that slow internet, Ray.
Oh, okay, my bad.
She had to reboot her computer, she said.
We getting it together. But make sure y'all follow me and Shannon on Facebook at Maybe Shannon. That is MAYBESHANNON _ on Instagram. You could also follow me, Ray Nitty, RAYNITTI, on IG, Facebook, all your platforms, and make sure you follow The Lunch Break on Facebook as well. We'll be dropping new updates, conversational topics. We'll be giving away lunch. What y'all eating on today, man? 833-212-1017. Call us up. Tell us what y'all eating on this. It's Wednesday, right? It's hump day. What y'all eating on hump day, man? Hump day. Wasn't it like a hump day camel or something on one of them commercials?
Mike.
There we go. Strawberry Passion. Hey, Strawberry Passion. Shouts out to the YouTube chat. Once again, the number to call is 833-212-1017. You could also text that number as well. If you aren't available to call, you can shoot us a text and we will respond to you there. We got a pretty dope show today, man. We're going to be talking about let me give y'all the quick rundown real quick of today's shows, man. We're going to be talking about Ginuwine. Ginuwine recently got married while we wait for Shannon to tap in and check in on the lunch break. Then we're going to be talking about the age gap debate. Is there a line that needs to be drawn for the age gap debate? Then we want to connect it to some local stories where we feel like, you know, grooming has been on a rise in the city of Milwaukee, where older men have been preying on younger women online and feeding them whatever stories or whatever to get them to be more comfortable, to the point of where some of these young individuals are leaving and running off with these older men, and it's being masked as love. and it's really just actually sick in my opinion. And then we're going to go into some of the stats, the numbers by grooming and what it means and what it represents, and the exploitation in Milwaukee. So now that y'all have that, we'll go back to the top. We still waiting on Shannon, huh? Okay.
Yep.
So Ginuwine. Ginuwine got engaged. And Milwaukee, we just want to talk about it. This is just our icebreaker. Y'all remember Ginuwine? So anxious. Meet me at 11:30. I like it when you're talking dirty. Cause I'm excuse me, I didn't have my ginger tea this morning. But there we what sound effect was that?
What song was that?
Hey man, it was So Anxious by Ginuwine. I'm a Caribbean guy, not a R&B singer with a S curl. But yeah, Ginuwine got engaged. Well, you know what? Before we get into that, just wanted to, I don't know if you all saw or paid attention to what happened in to Lincoln Elementary School. That school, it was a 5-alarm, if I'm not mistaken, 5-alarm fire that completely devastated that school. Now, 500 students are now going to be misplaced for the next upcoming school year, as if we didn't have enough problems going on with our educational systems. Now we have people on the south side that will have to figure out what education looks like for their elementary kids. So prayers goes out to everybody that's going to be dealing with that situation. Looks like nobody was hurt in that. So thank the Creator for all of that. So as we get back, Ginuwine has gotten engaged. Shannon, you here?
I'm here.
Shannon
I made it to the
finish.
stoop.
She was trying to finish the boneless cheese pizza that she be getting.
Bruh.
She just didn't want us to see her eating on camera.
I couldn't take no more judgment.
It's all good. Next time, I'm gonna post a picture from you in the 3rd Street Market Hall and your pizza. But Shannon, did you see Ginuwine? How you been, Shannon?
I've been all right, man.
You had to reboot. Reset.
Man, I had to reboot. But it looked like it's you know, look, I'm moving fast and everything. Look, super fast. It ain't glitching.
Man.
Looks like it was a needed reboot. So yeah, I've been good. Just doing some technical side of things, troubleshooting and whatnot.
I can dig it.
IT over here.
I can dig it. ITS. It's maybe Shannon. But man, did you see Ginuwine got engaged?
I did see Ginuwine got engaged. Yes, I did. Right.
So Ginuwine, Mr. Pony, Mr. So Anxious, he got engaged to a 28-year-old. And, you know, we don't have
How old is Ginuwine, right?
Ginuwine is in his late 50s. Do I have an exact age?
Oh, so he almost look, I'm like, let me look this up.
Yeah, so, you know, yeah, type that up, Shannon, while I, you know, he has, he has kids that are older than her. So what's your first gut response, Shannon, when you hear, and keep it real with me now, too. Your first
55.
gut response. Oh, he's 55. So late 50s isn't fair, right? What's that, mid 50s, we'll call it?
That's mid 50s. That's right in the
fine.
middle.
Right in the middle.
You're going to be late sooner than younger. I can
Right.
tell you that.
Mid
Closer
creep.
to, you know what?
But yeah,
That's an
that brother's
elder.
starving. But
Middle.
yeah, he got engaged, and shouts
Okay.
out to Black Love, I guess, and you know, all of that stuff. But he's in his late 50s, engaged to a 28-year-old, and you know, people are talking about it because he has kids that is older than her. So what's your first gut response, Shannon?
That's weird. That's weird, dude. Especially when you have children older than this woman, right? Like, my first thought is like, okay, age gap is insanely big. What in the world are y'all talking about? Number one, because literally 10 years apart, some stuff like a person would be talking about, I'm like, I don't really remember that. I'm gonna have to do my research on that. But when you're talking about an age gap, what is that? How many years is that? Like almost 30?
What is it, 50 and
Almost 30
yeah, that's
years
about
apart.
yeah, just
That's
about 30.
generations
Or 20,
apart.
25. Just over 25. He 50. It
He
doesn't
wouldn't
matter.
even be a like
It's over.
yeah, it's
It's a huge gap.
we wasn't watching the same TV shows. We
When
wasn't
he was
listening to the same
25,
music.
she might have
She was
been
not
3
alive.
or not even alive.
She was alive.
I consider 25
Yeah,
years a
doesn't matter.
generation.
That's like
so
insane.
he's a generation older than her. And Jasmine says, sick. Eda says, I can't judge. My dad is 60, dating a woman in her early 30s. Tell your daddy call in. We
I
got
would
some
judge.
questions for him.
I would judge. Me and my
His
dad.
youngest
be
child is
beefing right now. I'm
28.
so
Dang, so that's actually a pretty interesting contrast. We have a listener, Wright. Her dad is 60, dating a woman in her early 30s. That's he too is a generation older than her. So I guess Shannon, for the question is that we're asking our audience, right? This is our core question about this. At what point does an age gap stop being a preference and start being a problem? At what point does an age gap stop being a preference and start being a problem? 833-212-1017 is the number to call or text. So we want to talk about this age
in
gap.
the chat and hit us up on YouTube.
Yeah. What Erica said, at this point, he needs someone to take care of him as he gets older. So we have that in our society as well too, right? Where sometimes, you know what? I'm gonna let you respond, Shannon, before I continue.
I was gonna say, what's crazy is like, I don't know, like maybe somebody can pull up the statistics on this, but I saw a few TikToks, and I know TikTok isn't a form of research, but that said, these nursing homes are finding that more men are ending up in these nursing homes lonely by themselves. Their wife done left them. The kids don't want to deal with them. And women have found community outside of their spouses if they are alone, right? They're finding like women friends, and they're finding like different community to help take care of them, or their kids still care about them enough to come by and take care of them. And when people say like they're getting older and they're looking for somebody to take care of them, I feel like a younger person, that's a lot of responsibility. So now that you did all your partying and your playing, you gonna put that on a younger person just because now you can afford, or like basically I feel like normally there's like a power dynamic there, right? If somebody's really young, and somebody's really old, the older person probably has enough money or enough like stability financially or whatever to kind of take care of this person. So you gonna ask this person to slow down, take care of you, change your diaper, and understand why your skin falling off or whatever happened when you turn 80. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, that's just insane. Like, I feel like when I'm older, I would want my partner to be somebody that understands what old people is going through. At this age, I want, look, when my knees hurt, and I don't want to tell no 20-year-old, hey, my knees hurting, you good? Like, some like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. Maybe he thinks it look cool, but in my eyes, you went from the possibility of being like, yeah, you that cool older guy, the smooth older guy, to the creepy uncle. Like, that pipeline is nasty work, and he didn't same old G'd right into it. Like, now you
same old G'd right into it. So you bring up some very interesting points, Shannon, because you see in society, right, where, and I don't know if this is a bad stereotype that maybe the younger women get that deal with the older men, as if they're just waiting for the older person to, you know, pass so they can cash in. So, or are they just, you know, taking advantage of this person and being like, oh, yeah, you know, this person doesn't require much maintenance. I don't have to do much with this person, but just take care of them. And then I could have all of these benefits and perks of the financial freedoms and still go be a 28-year-old. You know what I mean? That's, you know, she probably still got some seasoning to her. So go ahead, Shannon. I'm just saying, like, if you 28 and your significant other is 60, I think y'all interested in two different types of entertainment.
Totally different things. Like there's nothing relatable. Like if you want to be cool and hip, I get it. But I have a mouthful to say about that when they blame the younger woman for being a gold digger. So I feel like we should go to break and then we can get right back into it. Before we go to break, I want to tell everybody, make sure you guys call or text. Make sure you guys hit us up on YouTube at 101.7 FM. Make sure you guys follow us on Facebook. We only a couple followers away from 500 followers. We trying to get there, y'all. Help us grow. We the Lunch Break on Facebook. Right, Nitty?
Don't go anywhere, y'all. You'll be right back to the lunch break on Truth 101.7 FM. Hey, that was clean, Shannon.
This is a sick Negro.
Don't go anywhere.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a united way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to healthcare and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope.
This year ain't been cold at the bar, we could pretend like we dancing in South Beach, pretend.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Welcome back to the lunch break on the Truth 101.7 FM. That was the homie Cam Will. I don't know if y'all remember. He was on the show, man. He was on the show and he was letting us know what he had on the menu. So don't forget, July 4th, he has his album release event coming up. So make sure y'all check in with the homie Cam Will. We'll probably see if we can get him on or something to look tomorrow or something, or shoot us a text to give us that information again. But speaking of menu, Shannon, what you got for us on the menu today?
Man, listen. Looking to discover speaking of business opportunities, looking to discover and support local business in our community. Then make sure you tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. to The Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman for What the Business Is, powered by We Energies. Each week you'll hear from a local business owner as they share what their business is, where they're located, and one valuable lesson they've learned along the way. We Energies is proud to help power local businesses in the communities that they serve. Don't miss What the Business Is every Friday at 8 a.m. only on The Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman, powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local businesses.
Man, what the business is. Shouts out to Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman in the morning, like man. That. My lodge brother. The chat is popping actually. We having the age gap debate. So Erica says, she's explaining now. She says, here's why I'm not mad about my dad dating her anymore. I think that was a key thing she said there, anymore. So she was mad at one point, E. And you were Riverside Tiger, so I know you was mad. She really loves my dad. She really loves my dad. Please note, he is not wealthy, so she's not with her dad for his money. She supports all his dreams and helping him accomplish them. RC says, if you having children, that can be an issue. Why would you want to have children you won't live to see grow up? That's intense. E. says 3, he was married prior for 26 years, and I want him to be happy. RC also said Dick Van Dyke is 100. His wife is 46. He 100. He says she makes him feel young.
I'm sorry. At 100 on my mom, I'm going to stop breathing. I'm going to stop.
Oh, God. That was helping feel young, along with helping take care of him. He is still capable of dancing. Pretty amazing at 100. She dances. Yeah. All right, man. So, Shannon, we have. I gotta see what type.
Remind me, it's this performer. I can't remember which one it is. It's one of the old school performer, like one of the greats, and they still got that man on stage in Vegas talking about he can still perform. That man look like a animatronic from Chuck E.
You out of your damn mind.
say the juice ain't worth the squeeze no more, Larry.
My bad. I'm so sorry.
Oh man.
All right, back to the real
right.
stuff. I'm crying.
Just wrapping up the chat.
So sorry.
The other reason for having a younger mate is possibly having someone have a child with that female to inherit your fortune. The reversal would be a woman freezing her eggs and getting the surrogate to have a child to inherit her fortune. Erica says she was pissed. RC said we crazy. Nah, y'all crazy. We ain't crazy. Y'all crazy. But anyway, Shannon.
I don't know.
Back focus. I was
Yes.
crying real. He said Dick Gregory 100. He's still dancing fine. Not Dick Gregory. Dick Van Dyke. I said Dick Gregory.
Look,
100.
Yo, come on, man.
So there's a couple conversations happening with this, right, Shannon? And I promise we're gonna pivot here to how we connect this locally, right? But people are saying she's a grown woman, she's 28, and she's not a child. 2 consenting adults. This is nobody's business. Love is love. People mind everybody's businesses but their own these days. And I can agree with that at some point, right? The other side is saying, man, this raised red flags. What do they have in common? We just talked about that. Somebody even talked about the power imbalance. I think you was talking about that too, right, Shannon? The power imbalance, money, influence, life experiences. But as Erica alluded to, her dad is not wealthy, so his lady that he's dating is not into it for the money. His kids are older than her. These are what some of the people are saying. This is not what Erica is saying, by the way. His kids are older than her. How does that family dynamic even work? Is this admiration or manipulation? 833-212-1017. 833-212-1017. We want to get y'all opinions. Is this admiration or manipulation? Is a 30-year age gap between 2 adults nobody's business, or is it a red flag? Hit us up, text us, and let us know if you Dick Van Dyken and, you know.
Dancing around them youngins.
Dirty dancing with somebody 60 years older than you. So, is it a red flag or is it nobody business, Shannon?
So I feel like I wanted to address what we were talking about before we went on break too.
All right.
Because you made a point, and I feel like I wanted to talk about that because if you notice, like the women catch the heat, like you said, a lot of people would be like, oh, like she's just using them for the benefits or whatever the case may be. And in a lot of those cases, they like, oh, she grown and she's just trying to get whatever she can get out of the situation. I do feel like a part of it is like, some younger women want to appear more mature, right? And it could be like, and I'm not talking about the situation in chat, I'm just talking in general, right? Sometimes they're like attracted to somebody older and then they're like, oh, I'm mature enough and da-da-da. But like when it all comes down to it, I genuinely don't think somebody with an age gap that big has anything in common. I do feel like maybe there's initial attraction, but when you're actually dating somebody like that, it's just like, what are we doing? And as far as like using somebody, when it does come down to that, like I feel like you said earlier, most older men, they looking for somebody to take care of them, or they're looking to look cool and young. If you're gonna use me for that, I guess you might as well cut the check. If that's the case, like, come on now, like that don't even be looking right. I feel like some older guys be dating younger, thinking it make them look younger, but now you just look weird. Like you don't look like you can bedazzle. You can bedazzle all the pants you want. You can wear all the graphic tees. You can do all the young things that you think people do, and you still look like an old man just doing young stuff. You look like one of them Disney people that they try to make look like hip hop and just throw a bunch of clothes on them. Like, I'm gonna make you look younger. Here, you not 60 no more. You look 20. It's not true. You look crazy. But that's dumb. And I do feel like a lot of women in these situations take more heat than the men. Like if you notice, even with what was her name, Anna Nicole Smith, when she married that old man. She took all the heat, and I remember being a kid being like, oh, she's using them, and that was kind of what was like pushed out to the public, even with, like not in the more recent past, that 16-year-old that married the 30-something-year-old. You don't remember that? It was like very recent, probably like not super recent, but probably 15 years ago. She got to be in her 30s now. So she's still fairly young. And she actually talks about it now because the media portrayed her, like her parents signed off on it, said it was cool. The media portrayed her as this like girl that just wanted money, this busty blonde. Like they had her dressed like a like prop. Like y'all see these pictures of this girl, like looking back, like I was a kid at the time, but I was just like, oh, okay, like that's what they want to do. This girl was 16 and that man was like 40. I think I gotta find the pictures and stuff, but they was getting interviewed on like big TV shows and everything. So it wasn't even like anybody was questioning this. And then now it comes out that he was dating other girls that age. So I don't think Ginuwine's situation is that of like a pedophile or anything like that.
You don't
but I
view
do
it,
think there's a power dynamic.
you don't view it as a
And I do think-
nefarious activity. So that's actually an amazing
Right.
pivot. So before we go to break, we've been talking about a 28-year-old woman who can make her own choices, right? But this conversation made me think about something that's not okay, because not every age gap as
Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to the lunch break with Ray, Nitty, and maybe Shannon. 833-212-1017. We live, y'all, on Truth 101.7 FM from the American Family Insurance Studios in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, 3rd Street Market Hall. We talking about grooming, y'all. We was talking about Ginuwine earlier. You know, he married a 28, not engaged to a 28-year-old, and you know, it just brought up some conversations. Somebody said, for me, red flags look like control, isolation, manipulation, disrespect. Doesn't matter if they're older or younger partner. So, yeah, we was talking about some real interesting things just now. But we're pivoting to grooming when it's not two adults and, you know, they're not choosing each other, right? So he says, this is just by the numbers here. You know what? Before that, I wanted to read this, and for the sake of it, I'm not going to say anybody's names. But this individual, I've seen on social media, active in protests and very vocal, you know, somebody you would think had the best interests of the community in mind. I would assume, maybe I'm wrong, but, you know, from outside looking in, you see people participating in these historic events. You would assume that people's heart is in the right place. But anyway, says mandatory release, extended supervision date, 1/17/2041. A Milwaukee County judge sentenced, name not to be mentioned, on Tuesday, November 11th to 16 years in prison plus additional 14 years of extended supervision following the suspect's conviction on child sex assault, soliciting and trafficking of a child charges. He also pleaded guilty to 3 of the 8 counts against him in May. The remaining 5 charges were dismissed, but read into the court for the record of the purposes of sentencing. A criminal complaint explained that another teen asked the girl to join her at XYZ's home to smoke, but the situation quickly turned scary. Prosecutors say the criminal strapped the girl to a bed and forced her into sex, filming it. The victim told police he used that video to traffic her and sell her online for sex. So these are people that are, actively in protests in our community, and and uh and this person is currently in jail, by the way. So I don't want to.
Thank God.
It's public record. The person's name is Corey Kirkwood. For the record, I'll just put it out there, just so I don't want anybody
it's
else
out
getting
there already.
Exactly. I don't want anybody else getting targeted for not for me not putting the name out there, and I think the name should be out there, as a matter of fact. But these are the type of people, Shannon, and we've talked about this in previous shows on how this impacts the city. So now Milwaukee, this is just some numbers now. Grooming and exploitation in Milwaukee. Milwaukee County consistently accounts for roughly 29 and 33% of all child sex trafficking allegations statewide, despite being one of 72 Wisconsin counties. 33% in 2019, 28% in 2020, 31% in 2021. Also, more data, a Milwaukee Homicide Review Commission study identified 340 individuals aged 25 and under confirmed or believed to be sex trafficking victims in Milwaukee between 2013 and 2016. Researchers and law enforcement widely note these numbers are likely undercounted because the real scope, trafficking and grooming, are notoriously underreported. That's just Milwaukee.
And I feel like,
go ahead, Shannon.
And I also feel like a lot of victims don't feel comfortable saying that they're victims, right? And that's another part of it. And I feel like sometimes why people on the outside looking in, like, well, she says she knew what she was doing at 15. She said she took accountability for it. It's like, no, there's no accountability that needs to be taken. I don't care if you say you're not a victim. You were underage. That was a grown man. That was not right. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of times, like, in situations, like they say, it's underreported because of that. And I feel like a lot of people have, like, I know women that have dated older men when they were teenagers, and the men still out here in the community. I'm pretty sure they still doing exactly the same thing, but they don't look at themselves as victims because they willingly talked to this older guy. They willingly hung out with this older guy, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
That you're still a victim and he's still a predator.
Yeah, 100%. Strawberry Passion said there are multiple celebrities who continue to do this. R. Kelly, Elvis. Elvis was 24 when he married a 14-year-old. George Clooney, Jerry Seinfeld, just to name a few. Absolutely.
Isn't Woody Allen on that list? Didn't he marry his own daughter, if I'm not mistaken?
Man, I am not sure of Woody Allen.
He out and about.
I don't know, but I did.
Leonardo DiCaprio is a known weirdo too, but he ain't that far into the weirdo. I think they said he don't date under 25. Like, after his girlfriend's turned 24, he out the door.
That's insane.
So but that should tell you something.
You had brought something to my attention, Shannon. Speaking of people dating there and grooming, ironically, we just celebrated the BET Awards, right? And one of the icon or the legend award went to the phenomenal Lauryn Hill, right? And I think it was you, Shannon, that made me aware that the person that directed one of her videos, I can't remember which video it was, but
it was the Killing Me Softly.
Oh,
there we
yeah.
go.
I ain't gonna sing because Zach gonna, but that the director of that video had about 4 kids with his daughters, if I'm not mistaken.
With his actual, his biological.
With his biological daughter, and it went on for, it sounded like over 10 plus years, and they were homeschooled.
Probably even longer because they didn't know.
Because they were just hidden and from society and not exposed to what's right and what's wrong. National online grooming, right? Here goes some more stats, Shannon. The National Center for Missing and exploited children cyber tip line received 1.4 million reports of online enticement in 2025. And that's a jump of roughly 156 to 158% from 2024. So it more it more than doubled from 2024. Of those, more than 80,000 involved sextortion and over 800 involved an offender who actually traveled to meet a child, not a woman, a child, in person. Reports of sex trafficking submitted by online platforms rose from 8,400 in 2023 to 105,000 in 2025, over a 1,100% increase. And that was tied to, in 2024, federal law requiring tech platforms to report these type of things. So this activity spans from every major platform, gaming app, social media, and things like that. So what's your thoughts on that, Shannon? Social media, grooming, people having so much access to young people having so much access to the internet, and being tricked into thinking that these older men are actually giving a damn about them.
Right. Or even like giving them a way out. Like that, I think a lot of it be like, okay, like this person can buy me McDonald's on the daily. My mom can't do that. Like it could be something as simple as that stuff, because they're not used to something, and it's easier because they're younger and haven't been exposed to certain things. That's why I say when there's like that power dynamic, or when it's just the life experience difference, it makes such a difference in what's going on. And I feel like with the internet being what it is, and everything being so accessible, you have, like, I know it's hard to constantly sit over your child's shoulders and like constantly have your ears to their tablet or whatever, but it's like you have to do that because so many cases of grooming, it happens online. Even when you see, I don't know if you've heard about the David case out of California, that he had a viral song that was pretty popular. He was like 18 talking to an 11-year-old, and she ended up dead in his trunk. Like, have you heard about that case?
Yeah.
I gotta send it. Yeah, but even
and then
with
he
that,
like made a
things
song
like,
about it, didn't he?
yeah, like he made songs about this girl. He made a song about, like, it's just so much evidence pointing to him. Like he was just getting comfortable with this.
No, I feel you.
Older men like younger women,
Right. Man,
and then
so
sorry, and then from there it just accepts more, and then it accepts pedophilia. So like it's genuinely like a pipeline to accepting weird stuff. So
man, so I didn't know Paul Walker, Amanda put in the chat, Paul Walker, RIP, was in a relationship with a 16-year-old when he passed away. I did not know that. And
you know what's crazy? They said that was a like he also had a trust.
They also said yes to Woody Allen. His adopted stepdaughter is his current wife. And let's not forget about the women offenders who victimize young boys like Haley Beck. Haley Beck. I don't even know who Haley Beck is, but she do sound like an abuser. And it happens right here in Milwaukee. These ain't just national stories we talking about. This is a lot of these things is here in Milwaukee. Remember, you had the teacher that was.
I mean, which teacher?
I want to say,
the real
as
question.
a matter of fact, it might have been one at Rufus King, if I'm not mistaken. It was a woman teacher at Rufus King, if I'm not mistaken. I'll correct it if I'm wrong. But
we know that you're correct, but there's just so many to pick from. It's like, which one are you talking about?
But you know, Rufus King is low hanging fruit. So, so yeah, you know,
I would expect that behavior.
That's the type of education that they have to deal with over there at Rufus King. Like, and then you hear beyond the sexual relationships, you've heard about these teachers buying weapons, guns for some of these young individuals as well. So, what you got for me, Shannon?
Man, look, I definitely want to talk about Miss Haley Beck because look, I did my research on that one. I went on that rabbit hole, and it was quite interesting because we gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about it.
All right, y'all, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. But before we go to break real quick, get ready because 101.7 The Truth FM Family Fest is back. Join us Saturday, August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverside University High School for free back-to-school resources, live entertainment, family activities, and community fun. Vendors and sponsors can reserve a spot by emailing Sierra Brown at MilwaukeeBlackMedia.com. That is CIERRA.Brown at MilwaukeeBlackMedia.com. Proudly sponsored by Educators Credit Union and American Family Insurance. Don't go anywhere. You'll be right back with the lunch break, and we'll be wrapping up this discussion about the groomers with Ray Nitty and maybe Shannon on Truth 101.7 FM.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created.
Around today, hey, I'm just being honest. You know what I'm trying to say. Ain't worry about your squad. Super teams get out the way. The day that we acquired Drew, yeah, that's my favorite holiday.
Hey. Welcome back to the lunch break. Shouts out to the homie, the Average Joe, man. I miss bro, man. Bro was full of energy, man. He was probably one of the best announcers that happened to the Bucks franchise. He's doing this thing out there in LA, actually, for the Aces.
Oh,
we live.
I know
y'all.
That's right.
Yeah, he out there. The 3-time back-to-back champion out there too. He like LeBron. He like man, I'm taking my talents to Nevada. But yeah, shouts out to the homie, man. Yeah, Shannon, we don't got much time left, but I really want you to get into this. I'm going to just leave us with some of these things for you to think about, and then I want you to take us home. Where does the stats above show, and what happened here? What should Milwaukee families know and watch for? We could get into local resources on another show. I think that's a bigger discussion. But normalize calling in what it is, regardless of gender. How does this affect young people long term? What does accountability look like here? Because like we said, these are not just national headlines. Milwaukee County alone makes up nearly a third of Wisconsin child sex trafficking allegations. So when we talk about local cases, we're not talking about an outlier. We're talking about a pattern. So take us home, maybe, Shannon. Give the people what they need right now. Feed them.
Listen, like I said, a lot of times they starving. Their brother's starving for some knowledge. But no, I genuinely think, like I said before, when we don't think twice about these large age gap relationships, then all of a sudden, because like you had to clarify earlier, we're talking about large age gaps between consenting adults, because it's so easy for some people to then turn that into like, it ain't wrong for a 16-year-old to date a 25-year-old. You know what I mean? Like that's still 10 years almost. And it's like, no, okay, now we getting into some choppy waters.
Yeah.
Because even when you think about skipping your child a grade in school, right? At certain ages, they still want to know if socially they will be okay. Like, yeah, I know your child can do right with the work. I know the work will be easy for this child, but is this child socially mature enough to go to the next grade? And that's just one grade difference. So when we're talking a 16-year-old and a 25-year-old man that has experienced life, that has had a job, that has been out of his parents' house, that has hopefully been to the club and experienced all these things, and somebody that has not even been out of high school, had a first job, so many firsts have not even happened. Now we're talking about that power dynamic, and we're talking about just being a predator at this point. Like I said, a lot of things that we accept, it slips right into another thing, and then like, oh well, they asked for it, or they wanted that, or that's how it is. And like, even with the David case, they had to use pictures of her being extremely young, wearing like a snowsuit, because there was so much conversation around, well, she look older. She could be 18. We talking about a 14-year-old girl that was found in a 20-something-year-old man Tesla truck, where they said the grooming started when she was 11 years old on social media. And they have to force the American people to look at her as a child. Just hearing that should be enough. I don't care what you look like. When you talk to people younger than you, you know they're younger than you. I don't care how mature. I don't care how smart. There's certain hot words where you're like, oh, okay, you're a little younger. Okay. So you think if somebody is 10 years older than me, 15 years older than me, we have much to talk about. Can I learn from anybody? Sure. Can I, you know what I'm saying? But certain things, like, when you become a certain age and you're looking for somebody to relate to and understand your aches and pains and go down memory lane with, where is y'all going? Like, you know, so right, what you think about it? I feel like we ain't really get your deep and innermost thoughts about that.
Man, I think humans are sick. I think humans are sick, man. I think grooming is, man, I'm sorry, man. Firing squad for these fools, man. Firing squad.
And then
Death by firing squad. Because it's like you are taking advantage of young, impressionable minds that think they want something. You feel what I'm saying? That think they want something. And social media has made things, the internet has made things so accessible, Shannon, that we don't really have, no, they say they do, but what real online safety protections is on there for young people? And how do we fix that? How do we police that? How do we navigate that? How do we protect our kids? 11 years old is what you just said. Now dead in the trunk. And we know we've seen the young girls at school where the homies in the cars come pick them up that was clearly older in high school, but they hopping in these whips and they leaving school going with these older guys. But that's for a deeper conversation tomorrow on the lunch break with Ray, Nitty, and Shannon. We're going to be talking about online safety